Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
If you've been hurt in a road accident that wasn't your fault, you should really talk to G4 Claims first. Unlike road accident solicitors, we don't charge you for our services, which could see you better off. To keep 100% of your compensation, have a chat with Nicole and the team. You'll be glad you did. Search online for G4 Claims.
Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sellik the Thunder podcast. It's me, Ryan 118 Fitzsimons, and I'm joined today by my marvellous guests Calum, Craig and Dylan Murdoch as we discuss everything Celtic related, even though there's bugger all happening. And unless things change drastically between this recording and the morning when it's published, we still await a signing, but we'll get into that. Bear with me. It's episode 147. I'll start with yourself, Calum. Hello, nice to see you. How you doing?
Yeah, okay, not bad. Not long finished, so it's just straight out of work, straight into the Celtic business.
Nice shift.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm by fairly quick. The aircon was on full blast, thankfully, because the shop was roasting.
Here's something I've meant to bring up in the podcast last week when you returned as the Adidas official representative. Get a word in with him about the kits. What's happening with the kits, by the way? We didn't even discuss that.
Oh, it's madness. I think through what we've been able to grasp, and again, I'm at a very low level of Adidas. Before folk think I'm
no,
rubbing
you're on good
shoulders
terms
with
with
the
Adi himself.
Through what we've been able to grasp, it's in this full elite tier of level A. We're at kind of the top of level A. Mm-hmm. But I think it's due to taking on Liverpool this season.
Right.
Not so much they've picked us for a spot, but realistically, Adidas have obviously looked at Liverpool or Celtic, who we're going to take.
Aye.
They've took them in the elite. I'm hoping, again, touch head with, for the way we've been able to piece it next season, is when we start being elite. It's just because I'm taking Liverpool this season.
I hope that's the case. You heard it here first, ladies and gents. Adidas will get their arse into gear next year. Hopefully so. Dylan, hello. How you doing?
Right. What's happening?
Right.
How we doing?
It's nice to see you. I mean, that's what a record you're on so far. 3 out of 3.
3 out of 3.
The only person to do
It's that way you're on. It's like we could look back for the 2 weeks ago, and as you said, there's nothing really happened, is there? Like we could just look back at last week, but no signings, no tackles, but aye. Here we go.
You're doing good though. You're doing good.
Aye, see how it goes. See how it goes.
Well,
street my end.
Well, it's a big couple of weeks, and we will be here right up until the end of the transfer window. On that note, thank you to everybody who is a Thunder Club member, and thank you to everybody who is joining the membership service. Last week we had a great time talking about woke things in football. This week, if you want to become a Thunder Club member, we'll be talking about the transfer window all over the globe, not just at Celtic. We'll be talking about the signings of the summer, who to look out for across the continent, down south, everywhere else. Just a right good gab, as you could say. So join us over there. Make sure to go and check us out on Spotify as well. Let's get into the podcast, shall we? Because we have a bit of catching up to do. With the summer transfer window not really kicking on the way we would have liked it. I mean, Calum, this time last week we sat here in the studio going, well, maybe next week, and another week's by and nothing's happening. It seems like the picture might be just emerging that it is Champions League qualification we're waiting on for something to happen, but it doesn't make life any easier, does it? Things are just repetitively getting tedious now.
It's just kind of everything just feels like it is just kind of pittering out. It is just leading towards that Champions League qualification games, I should say. Sorry, it's just. I mean, what was the first rumour we seen yesterday? It was a boy, I think McKenzie kind of ran.
Was it that Calvin Stengs story?
But then again, obviously, exactly. I was going to say it was a non-starter for the get-go. So even if it was a false rumour, can I give you a wee bit of there's something to talk about? But again, it's still quite annoying that we're. Just as Dylan said, you could watch last week's, we're still in the same position, and the week before. And
that's the thing, we spoke about this on my live stream last night, but you get to this point and it's all the silly stuff begins to happen, and you just don't even know what to believe, who to believe, and you're just having to put up with name after name, and there's never any real kind of story there to back it up, and it just gets a bit boring.
Aye, it's again, you don't want to say it, but in terms of like for us,
Aye.
we've not really that much to then come talk about. Yes, we've obviously got like the league result against Aberdeen. We'll come on to that
Aye.
at a later point. But we then want to talk about transfers. It's not as if there's rumours. Like, at least give us something. Like for example, obviously again the nonce that I seen. Who was it? I think it might have been Cal, usually in the comments. I feel like it was somebody said something about El Shaarawy.
Just made up something.
Just for me to go, do you know what? Keep me a wee bit of excitement.
Just believe it, just believe it, mate. Try and make yourself excited.
I think there's been a couple of people. I seen the El Shaarawy one. I seen our man Ricos, he posted one about somebody as well, and it was just like, you just reading it and going, oh, they're just having a laugh, but it's getting people talking, and they're like, that's what we need to do. That's what we need to actually have a conversation. I mean, Dylan, I don't even know what to say at this point that hasn't been said. It feels like even we're coming on and just repeating ourselves, but we don't claim to be in the know, we don't claim to be insiders, we're just here to give our opinions, and right now Celtic aren't giving us anything to give an opinion on.
I think I said it to you, like, as much as I love doing this podcast, but I think I said to you, like, I joined after the transfer window last year, and I'm like, thank God, because always forget how depressing it can be as a Celtic fan with transfers, even when we're at our best, like, left it late and that, and then you'd eventually be happy and stuff, but the fact that we're just sitting here now, just trying to make ourselves, like, excited for these Champions League qualifiers and stuff, and there's just nobody in the building, and it's just, like, fair enough, the weekend will come on, as you said, but, like, the weekend was fine, but it's the same problem as last week, the attack, and you're going into these games, obviously we've seen the fixture list, it's like 5 games in so many days, and you're sitting there with Forrest, Yang and Maida, and you never know, somebody could get injured, the travelling, there's just so much to talk about, and there's just nobody in.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just so hard to pin down what the exact reason is. I mean, if I could sit here and ask you to hypothesise your own reasoning for why Celtic aren't making signings and why we aren't being linked with attackers, but I don't feel like anybody... I mean, if you want to guess, do you think you have a guess of why there's just nothing happening? Like, do you think there's a particular reason? Anything at all?
The only thing you could think is maybe obviously they've seen the draw and they've just seen like the Celtic squad for last season and just the board have went, we've got the confidence in this team just to get the job done in the qualifiers, and then we'll look to business when we're fully in the Champions League. But even then, you're still wanting, well, me personally, I'm wanting a player in early, at least one, just one. That's all I'm asking for Celtic, do you know what I mean? Just one player, and then there you go, everybody's happy, something to be excited about, bring them into the squad, and then you've got options as well, because it's that way, if somebody gets injured and then just the squad in general for the bench and that, you're just, what if you're struggling in a game, what if somebody's injured and stuff like that, so it's just a bit of an annoying one, and it could come back to bite us if anything goes wrong in these qualifiers.
Talking about the qualifiers, we are now around 24 hours, well, by the time this is up and live on YouTube, it'll be far less than 24, it'll be about 7 or 8 hours probably from the registration deadline for the Champions League squad for this playoff tie. So I guess I'll kick off the conversation before we talk about Kairat Almaty and before we talk about that draw in particular. Calum, the squad deadline tomorrow night, have Celtic done enough?
Nah, nowhere near it for me.
So here's my other question to spawn off that. Is this do you think that's no just because you're disappointed, or do you think we're actually going to struggle with the game?
I don't want to say so much struggle with that game itself, but as Dylan touched on, we've got like a short period of time and we are playing a good amount of games. Obviously we've got the cup game coming up, we touched on that, and then obviously we'd said the qualifier at home, then Livy, then we're away, and then also you come back and you've got Ibrox, we come back, sorry, and then we've got the away leg, and then you've got Ibrox 4 days later. So for us to have such a quick turnaround, especially when you've got that travel time, the time zones, things like that, a bit ideal. I know everybody will go through the same travel that would make the travel there. Yep. That would probably be the same team at Ibrox, for example. I know that's weeks away, but you would still like to have a good bit of depth where if you can take a decent lead over to Almaty, that we can then sort of rest a couple of key players that you would like to have that luxury of. But I think it's just come down to, I think we're still on the same transfer route of, you're probably putting bids in against a lot of stuff behind the doors, but I still think we're going to be so far off estimations. Like we've seen it with the boys from Go Ahead Eagles, come out and say this is what our estimation was, Celtic were nowhere near it. That's the only thing I feel that is holding us back. It's
interesting because Kairat Almaty on paper are a team that Celtic should be beating comfortably, and my point of view is that Celtic and the board in particular have banked on the squad being good enough to get through this game, which they should be, but that shouldn't be the bare minimum here, Dylan. Like they shouldn't be looking at, alright, Slovan Bratislava or Kairat Almaty in the next game. We beat them 5-1 last year. Kairat Almaty are ranked 450th in the club rankings. We don't need to rush. We can just take our time. We can bank a cool 40 million, 50 million, whatever it is now for qualification, and we can go from there. Now, that's all well and good, saying that Celtic should be beating this team, and it would be embarrassing if we don't. But to leave the business late, is it naive on their part?
I think it could be slightly, because we've seen it that it's just the fact if you see Celtic do this every season, really, it's like there's not that many times you've seen a season where we've brought in a key player early. Like, it's always been late business, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that's the problem. I think obviously we could be sitting here in a couple of weeks' time in another podcast and everything's rosy in the garden. We've won Champions League qualifiers, we've won at Ibrox, we've brought in these players, but it's just a wee bit of a gamble. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're leaving it that late, and then let's say, I think Kieran said it a couple of weeks ago in the podcast, we spoke about, like, what if we don't get that cushion at the home leg? You're getting into that away leg with a squad, maybe bare minimum, and then you've seen that the team's record at home. Like, it could be like one of the awkward games, and obviously you don't want to make excuses, but obviously the time zone and that might play into it. But obviously, as we spoke about, Celtic should be winning this no matter what, obviously, and obviously you've got the bit a couple of days cushion going into Ibrox. So, but it's just that way. It's just a wee slightly bit annoying, and it's could be a bit naive for their point.
Because I think we can all agree, all three of us here, well, Calum, obviously you've already said it's disappointing to the Celtic board to leave it like this. We haven't equipped ourselves properly, and I think we would all, number one, I think we all agree with that Celtic haven't equipped themselves properly. In fact, they've probably got off quite light with the team that they've drawn to be in this situation with a bit less jeopardy. But I think we can all agree that Celtic should win, and Celtic probably will win. I don't mean to sound, over the top or overconfident, but I think we can all sort of agree that that's maybe the case. But as you've just touched on, to go into that first leg, putting needless pressure on yourself to get the result, and a good result, I mean, like 3-4 goals to the good. I mean, Cam, that's a pressure that they could have done without, and they could have just made life so much easier for themselves.
Definitely. I think even more so now, the pressure is on that result. I'm not saying had the board went and made signings, it would look that if we had only went and took a 1-0 or a 2-0, then that would have made it any better. But it even just highlights it more now that they need to come away for that home leg with a commanding win. Especially we've seen it the past 2 times we've made the trip over to Kazakhstan. Now, away leg's been what's hampered us. I mean, I know obviously say hampered 4-3 against Astana the last time, but I remember sitting watching us 4-1 down. I played in my boyhood team. We were on our way like for a pre-season friendly, and I went, we might actually get parked out here. Sitting trying to watch it in the motor, and I'm like, what the actual fighting for? But then obviously we turn it around. But just massive pressure on them now.
Aye, and it's once again it's pressure they could have done without. And I mean, the Celtic board will feel vindicated should we go through and we win the game, and then they go and make the signings between now and the end of the window, and they'll turn around at the AGM and go, "What were you so worried about? What was the panic about?" But it's not. It's cheap to let them away with it. They should still be held accountable for leaving things at a gamble, at a risk, and that's
especially obviously I hope it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, like, it's going to be nothing short of an absolute meltdown, and it's going to be
if we go out?
Rightly so.
And what do you think happens if we go out? Realistically, do you think like
it's crisis?
Crisis.
It's an absolute crisis. Because think about it. We've known for so long that all these qualifiers are coming up. We've had plenty of time to prepare. Even when people's came out the door, we've got plenty of time to bring people in, so it's definitely a crisis if we go out, especially when you look at the rankings. Obviously, no disrespect to the team, but you know what it's like.
They've earned their way here.
Exactly, they've done hard work, done well. Somehow won that a penalty shootout, to be fair, and then they've got themselves here. So hopefully Celtic just don't take it lightly and just get the business done.
Well, if there's one side of things that we can trust, it's the squad and the manager himself. Now, if you take the board out of the question, I'm pretty confident that they'll get the job done, just because they're the utmost professionals. Brendan Rodgers spoke to Celtic TV today. His stance, his comments were, of course, we would all have preferred a shorter travel, a shorter distance, but they've got through, they've won their tie, so our objective is to go and win our 2 legs now and win that game. We can analyse them now and we'll be prepared for the first leg next week. So just to switch it over to the draw and to switch it over to what's happening there. Yeah, it's not ideal. Kairat Almaty, closer to Tokyo, Japan than it is Glasgow, Scotland. We've heard it all by now. But should it be used as an excuse, Calum?
Nah, I think, again, we knew there was always a possibility of this happening. Folk were always going to then look at it. Well, you'd like to think folk at the club were always looking, they're kind of a keen eye on it, going, well, they've come through, as we said, it came down to penalties last night. That can literally be a luck at. So again, you would like to think obviously there'll be stuff in place as think Sunday said, like, obviously the club will like charter a flight, get all the players there directly, but in the same sense, it's far from ideal, especially when you've got Ibrox in the return leg yet, not long after it. So it is a bit of a pain, but you'd like to think we do it.
Now, I think that's what's getting people down the most. I think that people look at the derby, Dylan, and that's why people are getting also the journey, we're going to come back to this derby and yada yada yada. Rather than the Champions League game itself, I think that people are using that as sort of afterthought even at this point and thinking more specifically towards the derby. But I think that let me hear your opinion on it, Dylan. What have you made? Because there seems to be this kind of nervousness amongst some sections of the support online and elsewhere that they're maybe not confident or optimistic. What are you thinking?
I think it's fair, to be honest. I'm a bit like that as well. So I always think worst case scenario sometimes, and it's like you're looking at the game, and it's like I think I see it on Twitter and online and stuff. It's like when you look at the Kazakhstan previous ties, like the record after that game in the league's been dodgy, a couple of draws, blah blah, and then that pressure going into Rangers. As I said, I keep saying a couple of times, if you get an injury or something, and then that as well. I think there's more pressure on that Rangers game as well because we've not beat them in a while. So you're going into that game, and obviously I want a win. Everybody wants a win, but I wouldn't even take a draw. You want a win against Rangers because it's been that long in a while. 3 games without a win against them. So I think it's that way when you're in that Champions League, if anything goes wrong, then you've got Ibrox as well. It's just that bit of pressure as well. So
listen, let's not talk that into existence. Imagine what a week would look like if you went out the Champions League then lost to Rangers. That would be bad. I think that'd be bad for everybody. Like, I don't even think Rodgers would get the bye at that point. I think we'd all be having serious. I'm not saying we'd all be like sack him, but I think we'd be having, a big conversation about what the fuck's went on. It's
such a bizarre situation we're on now because even you can spin it, and then you look at Rangers. Obviously, thankfully again they've drawn points. We are 4 points clear, so that's a good boost for us. They've shot themselves in the foot with that, but if they've got to sit Mirren next, obviously I'm going to say.
Well, we think so anyway. They can't make their mind up.
Apparently they've pulled it back. I don't know what the situation is, but either way, if it does happen at the scheduled time, if they do it, it's that way. Now that I'm saying it out loud, it probably won't happen, right? But they'll record against St Mirren. Have they beat them in 3 games? If they don't win that game, they're potentially going into the Celtic game.
7.
With 0 wins in the league, and then imagine the pressure on them.
There is a reality where Celtic could go 10 clear.
It's just so bizarre. We're sitting now stressing about Celtic. Then you could spin it, and all of a sudden we could be 10 points clear.
Because I think it's forever the optimist in me, and I will admit I can be guilty of being too optimistic and too positive sometimes. But the way that I look at things to do is like Rangers only gone. I think some Celtic fans are acting like Rangers are pressure free going into this derby, and that we're the ones. We're having to come back for Kazakhstan. All right. They're having to come back for Brussels, and granted that's not a Bruges, they're having to come back for Bruges, and I know that's not a big journey, but it's a hard game, it's a tough game, and a lot of momentum will be either lost or gained through qualification for the Champions League or losing. They've also then got to go to Ibrox and win in a derby where the manager is already getting called for his head. They've got to close a gap that's already forming. Like, there is arguably, actually, I'm not even going to use the word arguably, there is more pressure on Rangers in that derby than there is in Celtic. Already. Like, that derby is huge to them. And we can talk about Rangers. I'm not excusing us losing to Rangers in recent games because it's unacceptable the way that we've played in the last few derbies. But when was the last time Rangers won a derby that mattered? When was the last time Rangers won a derby that actually fucking meant something? Like, especially as you said, that it's like normally our record against them is always good at the start of the season as well. So that's going to be an interesting factor going into that. But as you said, Ryan, it's like more pressure on Rangers going into this game definitely because 2 games in they're already 4 points behind, and it's just the same old cycle with Rangers now. So I think, but hopefully Celtic take advantage of that because we've seen it before, as you said. I know it's meaningless derbies that they've won, but we've still went into the games with no pressure, and we've been absolutely battered. Exactly. The 3-0 game, and you're right.
It's a hard one, but I think Celtic should be putting the foot down. It
feels like this next week and a half especially is going to determine the morale and the optimism of so many Celtic supporters, because we could be sitting here by August 31st after beating Rangers, qualifying for the Champions League and making 3 signings, going, what a fucking 2 weeks. Or we could be sitting here going into deadline day with 0 signings, losing to Rangers and playing in the Europa League, and there could be protests happening at Celtic Park. Like, that's the swing of things at Celtic Football Club, and it's crazy. But that's the script of it, Calum, isn't it?
I think it's just the joys of being a Celtic fan, innit? It can literally, in the case of 2 weeks, could make or break you. Like, not make or break you, but you know what I mean? Like, you could be ecstatic, you can be in cloud 9, and you could literally be like, What is the point?
It's quite literally. You phrased it right the first time. It is quite literally.
Let's hope it's cloud 9.
I hope it's cloud 9. Before we move on, I'll open the floor to anything from this week that's maybe caught your eye, or anything that we've maybe touched on that you've no spoke about. Anything that you want to bring up.
I mean, Twat had a good wee meltdown. So did Super Scoreboard. Brendan, no tie, no belt. Honestly, as soon as I seen it, because we were down at Manchester the weekend to see family, and we'd found a decent wee boozer just next to the train station. I was like, ideal. And sure enough, every other telly that was on the other side, folk had took up the tables. The one telly that was sat 15, the cricket was on. I was like, nah, no chance. I said, I'm no sitting peering with a corner, trying to see it. Turn out, I said to us, listen, is there any chance? Like, clearly nobody's into watch that.
Fucking cricket?
I was trying to say, like, nobody's into watch that. Was there any chance you can stick it on there? And I went, I need to go and ask. I'm like, fucking excuse the remote, I'll change it myself for you. Thankfully, obviously, once you see it, as soon as I seen it, I said to my uncle, like, straight away, going to Twitter at half time, that's what you see. Sure enough, I'm like, fucking get a bye, man.
What are we doing here? Like, you know, man's not roasting hot day, and he's decided, you know what, I'll lose the tie for the afternoon, and people are going, that's a man that's gave up. He's gave up, he's off.
I have to admit, it did look weird though. It wasn't.
It was very weird. Brendan, get the tie back on, big man. But I mean, I think everybody would have said it to their dad. Like, people are going to make too much of this, and then poof.
Sure enough. It's like ridiculous. Give a man a bye.
Aye. No Gucci belt, no tie, no hope.
No honour, Brendan. You lost your honour.
He could never lose his honour.
No chance.
Anything at all, Dylan, before I move us on to half-time?
No, I think we've covered. I think the most important thing is probably it's good that we've got the home leg first, I guess. Normally, I think I prefer the away leg.
Yeah.
Circumstances like that, I think you want to get the home leg and hopefully get a cushion going into the away tie.
Aye. Well, here we go. Half-time. And the halftime quiz this week, I believe, is Dylan, who has made us up something special.
Aye, so it's just a wee half-time true or false for last season.
Right.
Just a wee couple of questions just to get his thinking again about last season.
This is bad for me.
So
last season's already gone.
I always ask either or who wants A or B, I guess.
None of us won last week, didn't we? It was Kieran. We were out.
We were out pretty early doors.
Yeah, pretty doors. Calum, we'll give you the privilege if you want to go.
I fucking just take set A.
Set A.
Might as well.
Right, Calum, so we're into set A then. So, true or false, apart from the weekends, so Saturday and Sunday, Celtic and Rangers have played each other bizarrely on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday at some point in the last 5 years. So that's just going into the Falkirk Friday night theme. It's
a good question. I like that.
I'm trying to think, because it's usually the Hugman egg game that's run about that period. It's always a rotten period, because nobody knows what day the weekend is. I'm off work on Tuesday. What are you having Tuesday? Because they're still in that limbo.
Fucking hell, it's Wednesday.
Part of me's going to say false, because I feel like there'll be one day that we've not. False.
You're correct. I can't. So it's Monday, but it is Monday and a Thursday, if you remember that.
I've tried to remember. I knew there was that awkward,
but and then obviously the Wednesday free on. So aye. Well spotted, Calum.
Tuesday's the only day we've not played them then.
Aye. Yet,
yeah.
Maybe.
Right. Wonder if officials one's a Tuesday. It's quite check.
Right, Ryan, this is yours then. Set B then. So in Celtic's 5-2 win against upcoming opponents Falkirk last season, all 5 goals were scored in the second half. True or false?
No, that can't be true, surely, because I remember Falkirk started the game quite positively, and we were like, they've offered us something. So all 5 Celtics goals in the second half. What is it? I feel like it went into half time 1 each or something. I'm going to say false.
Correct. Right. It was 4 goals in the second half though.
So was it 1 each?
I actually didn't know that.
Was it 1 each at half time?
I don't know. But I think it was.
Aye, I feel like it might have been.
Aye. I just remember the stress. Hopefully it's not as stressful this time. Calum, so second question. There's only 3 questions each. So last season, Celtic's goal difference against Rangers was 45 or more above them. True or false?
So just like by the way the league table finished.
Aye.
Do you mean aye? 45. It's going to be either just over or just under, isn't it?
100%, aye. Worth a punt.
True.
True.
And that-
47. I didn't even know it was that high. Did you just know that?
No,
I didn't
feel
remember
like
it being that
the
high.
only reason I remember it. I remember it being a good bit clear, but it was coming up to the New Year game.
Aye.
And I think at that point, like, the table came up. I can't remember who they dropped points to. And looking at it, I think we were like 34 or 35 goal difference at
aye.
a point. And I was like, fuck me, like, we score that many.
Gets away for you, doesn't it?
Aye, it doesn't
Gets
have.
away for you.
Right, on to your second question then. So, Celtic scored more goals at home last season than they did away. True or false?
Oh, the pressure's on here. I feel like this is going to be false because, and I'm no answering yet, but I think it's going to be false because I remember a few times being at games with Parkhead with Kieran last year and going like, that was rough a day, you know, a couple of rough games. And then I remember going away for like there was, I mean, we went up to Pittodrie and we scored like 5, for example. We scored 6 against them at home, but do you know what? I'm going to stick to my gut. I'm going to go false.
It's true.
Ah,
Can't shoot.
bastard.
62 at home, 50 away. But it was kind of close. It was kind of close. Consider home and away, it was kind of close.
No far off it.
You know.
And Calum, your last one is so Celtic's 2 each against Aberdeen last season. Was that the first time Celtic dropped points in all competitions?
That depends. Oh, fuck, did we play them before or after that?
Oh, that's a good
because
question
it's
actually. Because I would have jumped in here, and I think that I'd have been wrong if I jumped in.
I'm trying to remember when that game was. I remember this tweets because I was in New York. False.
Dortmund was before that.
That's what I'm thinking.
Aye.
Dortmund 7-1.
Aye. I was trying to remember if it was just before or just
man,
after that.
Good man thinking about it because I'd have jumped in and went aye, but
Aye.
I forgot.
And then
about
that's
the
why
games.
I-
because you said
I've-
all competition, I went, like, when was Dortmund?
Well,
That's what I was trying to get there.
Well done,
Well done, Calum.
I wouldn't
Take
have
that.
to quiz,
Aye.
right?
Get a bit of
And I'll get my last
No,
question.
did you say it's over, Ryan.
Fucking hell, I know it was bad.
Right, Ryan, last question. Celtic, so in true or false, last season in the Champions League group stage, Celtic lost less games than Dortmund, Bayern, PSG, Real Madrid and Man City.
Oh, I mean, we only lost, obviously. We only lost, two, Villa and Dortmund. So less than all of them. Oh, God.
I think because did Dortmund over, was it Dortmund or something else? That was Leipzig. Had a Shannon at the
Aye.
start.
Is
but
it Man
they-
City didn't have a
fuck-
great campaign
No.
either because they finished near the boat, like, near us. And this can very much well be. So who were the teams?
PSG, the champions, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Man City and Dortmund.
I'm going to say false just because of PSG.
It's true.
Is it?
I think, aye. Well, 3 losses, they all had 3 losses, I
Wow,
think.
really?
Fucking
Well, I was like, looking back, because I forgot Celtic had that many draws.
Aye,
as well,
aye,
so-
aye. Wow.
Fucking hell.
But I think
3-1,
Man
Cal.
City was the only ones we came above though.
Well done, Cal. 3-1 win.
Well done.
3-1 win. Well, hopefully we can continue that great Champions League form this year. But before the Champions League and before those qualifiers, we have Falkirk in the Premier Sports Cup, or to most normal people, the League Cup, on a Friday night kick. First of all, Friday night kick-off, what were you thinking?
I don't know, it's weird. I mean, the last one was like Kelly.
That's the last one I remember, aye.
The last one, I can think off the top of my head. I
9
don't
years ago,
know.
by the way. It's terrifying.
It's
I was there. I was in school when I was at that game, man. I remember telling her, I'm going to come out tonight.
I remember. 'Cause I remember my mum and dad, they went to a charity night, you know. They came in, my dad's like, how do we get on? I was like, it was 1-0. Yeah, thank fuck we went there, Lynn.
Was that the pink kit, wasn't it?
Aye,
no
no
time we won it,
That was my first ever away game. That was my first away game, aye.
But okay, you'd like to think, also, we take the result again. Falkirk have no too bad a start to the season. Also, they came from behind.
the
both
Livy
teams
result was a bit
but the Livy's a bit,
aye.
And they've done well for my both teams to score. Couldn't but
I don't know.
it's-
I'm quite excited about the Friday night game.
It's a nice aspect because it's unusual.
Aye,
It's
aye.
usually like Championship, League 1, League 2 that get it.
Aye.
So it's nice of them brought it up.
Aye, blotto was the word I thought of as soon as I seen the draw. I was like, Friday night, Falkirk, blotto. Won't remember a thing. And that was one of the tweets I saw straight after the bat. But Dylan, we welcome Falkirk again in the same round as we did last year. We obviously spoke about it there in the half-time quiz. Yeah, the first time we've seen them since becoming Premiership, Falkirk. Yeah, got any thoughts? Any thinking?
I mean, I was actually quite interested to see Falkirk this season. I think it's a wee bit of more an exciting promotion. Normally, like you see somebody's come back up and that. It's nice to see a wee team come up. No wee team. Cancelled
by the Falkirk.
But nah, as you said, I think that it's going to be an exciting team to see. Obviously, I think I caught them before the game in the first game of the season against Dundee United, and it was quite an exciting game. At least they'll try to play their football. You can see what they're trying to do for last season. Obviously, confident bunch of players in that, and obviously you've seen Scott Arfield plays for them. You've got Calvin Miller, a former Celtic man, good prospect player coming up. So Scott Bain's coming back probably. The Bainiacs are running wild. But it's going to be an exciting game. As I said in the half time, because I hope it's not as stressful as last season, because it was early on in the season and we weren't expecting a wee mini scale of that. I think we were 270 minutes.
I think so.
It's a wee bit like, we could be heading out here, but I think the fact we're at home again and stuff like that, and obviously, as you said there, Falkirk's had that disappointing result against Livingston at the weekend. So they'll be going in there like maybe a wee bit down. So hopefully Celtic can take advantage of that and defend their title and get off to a winning start.
Calum, you said that they started no bad up until last week. They had a good Premier League, Premier Cup group stage, get through to the next round. Bit disheartening to get Celtic again, but nonetheless you carry on. Got a point in the first game back in the top flight, not a bad result. Then Livy kind of hits them in the face. But that is a team that has the blueprint of how to come to Celtic Park and put a bit of fear in Celtic, because they've done it last year, and they've done it last year with a weaker squad. So, I expect Celtic to win. We all do. But Falkirk will certainly be thinking, and John McGlynn will be thinking, well, let's repeat what we've done last year, except this time let's not concede a flurry of goals in the second half. Definitely.
Because again, it is that cliche, it's a one-off game. Because it being a cup tie, you're going to go for it. If you go out and you get battered 4-0, it's fine. You put that aside.
Aye.
Because again, it's not that the way to then downplay Falkirk, but again, it's not just a club that have a high expectation of a cup run.
Aye.
More sort of the fact running into Celtic early doors in the competition. So you would imagine they go, do you know what? Kind of look at it as a free hit.
Aye.
Just make sure we not go down in the league, because again, we still get the Scottish to come in again later on there.
I think one of the interesting things though, talking about Falkirk, is last year, remember how obviously the first 6 months of the season was like one of the best periods of football we've seen. We were unbelievable across Europe, everywhere else, and in that 6 months, bar maybe the dropping the points to Aberdeen at Celtic Park, Falkirk were one of the tougher games, and that was coming up. I mean, let's kid on, Dortmund never happened for a second. But I remember getting to November, December time, sitting in this podcast and going, we've rolled through everybody domestically, and going, well, Falkirk, they gave us a going. So you don't know what you think. You really don't. It could be anything. But if Celtic get a good start in the game, Calum, you'd expect them to make routine work of it.
Yeah, you're hoping we can kind of. A goal early doors for us would be nice. Mostly again, you'd imagine that Falkirk would bring a fair crowd, much like they did last season as well. They did a decent following for us on a Friday night game. Everybody will be loving it. So no, I think it's that important start. You don't want to kind of be on the back foot right away. Just if you can start strong, kind of power through, get yourself at half time, preferably 2 goals so they're good, and see out from there.
Let's talk about the weekend against Aberdeen very quickly, because that performance probably gave a lot of people maybe the optimism they needed following the St Mirren game. Dylan, it was a better performance, certainly more entertaining on the eye, you could say, but Aberdeen made it tough at times, and we had our battles in the game. But 2-0, another clean sheet, defensively fantastic. The same worries just seem to be within that front three. What did you make of the performance at the weekend?
I think you said last week, I think when you go to Pittodrie you take any win, but it was quite a more satisfying win this time compared to the first game of the season. You've seen a bit more positives. Obviously Negrin was looking a lot better. Kieran Tierney as always was looking $1 million. He did brilliant for the first goal, and then Rio Hatate, what else do I need to say about that goal? Absolutely fantastic, him at his best. A player we were missing in the cup final. So it was definitely a lot more positives to take for the Pittodrie game, and it was a nice clean sheet. Defence was looking good, midfield was even looking good, but as we said, it's the same problem for the first podcast we spoke, the attackers. But obviously we've seen the Forest started this time instead of Yang and stuff. But I think that's the interesting one as well, because obviously we're going into a cup game so I was like, how are we going to change the team around? But it's just one of the ones. There's nothing too major to talk about. I think just as we said, the attacking is the only thing that we can improve on and hope to see more from going on this season. So
we'll come on to rotation and maybe players we could see more of in this game. But I, on top, the reason I asked about the Aberdeen performance is because, and this sounds like Groundhog Day at this point, but is starting to feel like last chance for a couple of attackers. More in particular, the big number 9 who didn't score against Aberdeen again. This is Falkirk in the Cup, and I think he will start. I don't see him starting any of the other strikers, and if he does, I don't think that looks good for Ida. I know people can go on about rotation in cup games, but I think that Ida not starting would be detrimental to his trajectory at Celtic. So this is once again, Dylan, another huge chance for him, another huge chance for the like of Yang if he plays. They really need to take it in a cup game on a Friday night against Falkirk, because if they don't take it there, where are they going to take it?
No, exactly. I think this is probably the perfect chance for them to really get that boost of confidence that they're needing, because I know it's still early days, but as you said, it was a bit like you didn't see any improvement for day one, and obviously Adam Ida obviously will know himself the pressure that's on him for the supporters, obviously, because it's not just like a first couple of games of the season thing. We've seen Adam Ida struggling a wee bit with pre-season and stuff, and obviously towards the end of last season it was a bit of hit and miss for Adam Ida, but me and you like him. Obviously we hope he gets that confidence back and he can start scoring the goals, and I think he scored a couple in the Falkirk last season, didn't he? I think that in that fixture, so hopefully he can repeat the trick there and get the confidence he needs, because obviously Adam Ida on his day, he's a good player, can score the goals when he's on his game, can score the scruffy goals. It doesn't need to be that's what I quite liked about Adam Ida. He can always just be where you want him to be, at the right place, right time sort of striker. But as you said, Aberdeen, he didn't really do himself any favours whatsoever, barely in the game, and it was just a bit annoying to see that, because obviously fair enough you can get goals for different positions, that's what you want to see as well, but it's just that way, because it was that disappointing in the first game of the season. It's a lot more pressure on him again, and as you said, if he doesn't perform at Falkirk, then it's time up. I don't know.
The way that I look at it is that Falkirk, Calum, is a team that wants to play open football. They have a vision and a philosophy of playing attacking football. That's what John McGlynn wants to do. It seems like he still wants to do that upon promotion. They've done it last year at Parkhead. I mean, and Dylan brought up obviously the game last year. I mean, if Ida can't score against an opened up Falkirk side, who might not be as open this time round, but even if they are even slightly more reserved, if he can't find the goals in that game, it makes you wonder, right, well, you know, what teams are they going to score against? Because we're hearing that he's meant to be good at this or good at that, and I've been the guy on YouTube going that he is meant to be good at this and that, but I can only do that for so long if he's not backing it up. So this is the kind of game where you'd hope he'd drop into the pockets that open up and he'll find himself opportunities, but he just seems so low in confidence.
Definitely. I think, as I was trying to remember back when I also get the game up, so obviously got a double against him. It was 2 in also quick succession. But I tried to remember if that was maybe like his first goals of the season, whatever it might have scored just before it. But apart, I think that might have been
late.
Exactly. That's why I was thinking.
Until I'd done the run through for us earlier, I completely forgot that he even played in that game. I thought he didn't make it in time, but
so that was why, and I was like, I thought, well, again, it would be nice if this is the game that is going to give him that confidence. If he does get that chance and he does get the goals, because again, it's kind of, do what you say, it takes the monkey off his back. It's still a lot of pressure there.
Aye.
That's good, you've got goals, but then again, folk will look at it and it was against Falkirk. But again, at the end of the day, goal's a goal.
the first goal goes a long way.
Exactly. I think then it boosts his confidence massively, because I think that is what he's really lacking. I don't know if it's just me that's thinking that, but it's the confidence, I think, so it's proper hampering him.
Absolutely.
And again, obviously, the service hasn't been the best for him. That's a given. I think we'd all agree on that. But yeah, I think that if he is to get a goal at the weekend, I think it would do him a massive turn.
Because the example for me at the weekend that showed me that the guy's lacking confidence altogether was there was a corner kick in the first half, and I think it's Nygren who takes it over at the Celtic supporters, and Ida goes for the header, but he just misses it altogether. He doesn't come even close to making contact with the ball. And I'm like, that is a guy that's just in his own heat at the minute. He's erratic in his thinking. He does, and I'm like, this is the guy who we brought in as a big striker who's meant to win headers, and he's just missing them altogether. And sometimes you've got to put him to the side and go, right, that's just utter shite. You are shite. But sometimes you just go, that's off. Something's off about him. Confidence is low. But there's only so many excuses you can make, I suppose.
I think it's just it's an unfortunate one, but is that way you're a striker, you know the pressure that's on you, because obviously it's probably one of the most important positions in the field, obviously, getting in the goals. But that's why I always feel sorry for him, because obviously I know it's a couple of seasons ago now, but you always remember him coming in, scoring a lot of big goals, good goals at Ibrox in the cup final, albeit Bolton slaps, but still he needs to be there and put it in. So I'm hoping the best for him, and I really do hope he can turn that around. But because we always speak about it, the price tag isn't his choice, and he's come in for Celtic taking the panty by, but you know what I mean. So it's going to be an interesting one to see, because he's already running at a time. Some supporters have already gave up with him, it's, even the people that us are starting to give up on him. So if he doesn't do it, and then Friday, it's that way. Even in the Aberdeen game, he didn't even have much chances as well. Like didn't even see him come close or unlucky. Had one of them, just really non-existent.
As Calum says, the service hasn't been great from the wingers either. Maida's had a quiet start to the season. Forrest has been the most. I mean, the fact that it's 2025 and Forrest is the most like lively winger really says it all. But like at the same time, you've got to balance that up between him creating his own chances and he's just not creating them. So it's a big game for Ida. Should he start? He probably will. Let's talk about rotation very, very quickly, because it is a cup game, and the cup games are always the ones people go, right, it'd be nice to see such and such, it'd nice to see him come in. But since since Rodgers has returned to the club, I feel like he hasn't really rotated as much as people would have thought. I think he's went safe, and he's went with his strongest team bar maybe a couple in most games. This has a chance for rotation ahead of a Champions League qualifier, though, which is something he hasn't had to do since returning to the club. This is his first time being in Champions League qualifier, so that could change, Calum. Do you think it would change? And if it does, who would you like to see come in?
Well, fun enough, I thought you were going to touch on, you're saying it there, but the man that's on that run through sheet, Paulo Bernardo, everybody's been crying into, what's the point? Get rid of him, go and punt him. But somebody put it perfectly. That's the same folk that, see if we do go and sell him, and he goes and has a crack this season. Why did we sell him? Why did you get rid of him? It's always the same with our support. I think he's a man I'd love to see him back in, because again, we've seen him when he get that wee spell before, was it, I want to say Rafe, but it wasn't Rafe. He get the injury against somebody, it was at Celtic Park, and same thing that since then we never really seen him going kind of back into the team. I think he's a player that I think he still does have a career at Celtic. It'd be nice to see him rotated into the team, but again, you don't want to do too much rotation. You've still got a team that, again, you're very early on this season, you're still trying to get players playing into a system that Rodgers has for us.
He's been a huge talking point on social media this week. His situation at Celtic is so unclear, even to the point I think there has been murmurs that he's maybe wanting away, but I think that's people just saying that because it's easy to presume somebody in that situation would want away, but he's always seemed somebody that's happy to be Celtic. He wanted to come back to Celtic. He's just been very, very unlucky, but you know, it's a stacked area, Dylan. You've got obviously Nygren, who's just came in. You've got Hatate, McGregor. You've got obviously Bernardo, McCowan. Like, that isn't an easy position to break down. Is this the sort of game where you'd like to see him, even if he doesn't start, get a good chance off the bench, maybe? It's
a really difficult one there, as you touched on, Ryan. I think we're quite blessed, I think, because I'd say midfield is probably our most strong position right now. Obviously, you've got Rio Hatate on his game, one of the best players in the league. You've got Engels, who we brought in for 11 million.
I didn't even mention Engels.
Calum McGregor, the captain. Luke McCowan's coming on, scoring goals. Who's the other one? The side of Nygren. He scored as well. So it's that way, and then it's so weird to think that Paulo Bernardo is basically our sixth choice midfielder, if you think about it. And on his day, I think on his day, Paulo Bernardo is one of the best players. Like, so it's just a shame. It feels like he's just been so unlucky in his Celtic career, and obviously he scored the goal into Rangers as well. And even when he didn't score the 3-0 game, me and you rave about, it's like he was absolutely amazing. One of the most complete performances I've seen in a while for a midfielder on a derby. But it's such an interesting one. Like, as Calum says there, you obviously, and you said Rodgers didn't change the team much, and you sort of want to stick to that, like starting 11 and get everybody ready for the Champions League. But if there is ever a time to bring Bernardo in, it would be a game like that. So I don't think he will start, but I wouldn't mind it. It would be nice to see Bernardo back in the team sheet, because obviously a lot of fans are missing him, but it's just a weird one to think what his role will be this season with all his midfielders.
I'll run through some. I'm not going to bother with a starting 11 prediction, because I feel like it's a bit difficult to do it for games like this. You just don't know what the manager's thinking with all these games building up, and obviously being a cup game, you could go different. But I'm going to rhyme off some names, and I want to know your opinions on them. It's Sinsalo. Now, my opinion has always been that because we know Schmeichel is retiring at the end of the season, it would be a wise idea to start bedding Sinisalo in a little bit more. And honestly, my opinion, and you might not agree, my opinion is that Sinisalo should become the designated cup keeper. Like, I think he should play basically every cup game this year, so that when he comes to next season, he's dealt with big pressure scenarios, he's dealt with big games, he's played more games and got familiar with the back four. I just think it would be a smart idea to have Sinisalo prepared for next season, and these are the kind of games where you could give him that chance, Cal.
Definitely. I think it was a big talking point, and we spoke about it very early on here, towards the tail end of last season, when obviously Schmeichel was out injured and Sinisalo was getting regular starts. I would have said, do you just give him the rest of the season because he was playing well. His distribution's fantastic for such a young keeper. As you've said it, see if he is to be that designated cup keeper, I'm all for it because again, we've seen the ability that he has. It's not as if he's, a lot of folk might say they've got a couple of question marks, but for me, I think he's passed every test.
There's always got to be question marks for a guy that young, though, isn't there? Like, he's not going to be the complete package at age 22. Like.
No, like again, but that's why it's so good having somebody like Schmeichel there.
Aye.
You still get the likes. How many world class keepers Stevie Wood's produced for us alone? Like
exactly.
The man that again, I'd love him to live forever. If he could, he's
a staple of the club at this point.
Aye.
I think the biggest difficulty with Sinsalo though is that even though it's easy for us to say, right, a cup keeper would be nice, like Schmeichel's probably sitting there thinking, hold on, if I'm going out, I want to be playing all the time. This is my last year, so it's not going to be exactly easy to go, right, Casper, sit down. It's going to be a bit of a situation for Rodgers.
Aye, definitely, especially if you're looking at Schmeichel's point of view. He did get that injury last season, so everything's probably precious to him now for this season. So he'll probably, as you said, he'll want to play every single game. But as Calum touched on, if Sinisalo does play, I have no problem with whatsoever. Like, you'd even argue he did get through into the deep end a wee bit last season. I know the league was winning stuff like that, but still to go to Ibrox and have a good performance and then get through into the deep end with not knowing Schmeichel was going to get injured and still had a lot, as we said, I don't think he really done anything wrong, did he? I don't think there was really any concerns. So I think it would be good to see more of him this season, especially if he's going to possibly be your number one next season. Obviously we might bring in another goalkeeper, but obviously we've got Duhan there as well, so there's a real potential for him to be the starting 11 goalkeeper next season. So it would be nice to see him, but either way it's a good position to be in with Schmeichel and Sinisalo.
Absolutely. Simpson Pusey might be the first time we see him. Decent opportunity for a debut.
Yeah, I mean, again came at the perfect time for him because obviously Rodgers touched on that he was training with like a different group when he was at City, so obviously still getting him up to match fitness. Then again, it's a case of skills isn't how they're going to get drops. It's a case of is it just saying to Carter Vickers, chat the night off.
Could help manage Vickers' fitness, I suppose. Off the back of a surgery, might be this kind of game where you can go, right, Jemai, you go out, play 60-70 minutes. If things are maybe tight or whatever, then we'll get you off, bring Vickers on to manage the final part of the game. I guess it's a situation that you can alter as the game kind of goes on.
I think it's against a nice position to be in, most of the fact, obviously, again, like we're seeing this, obviously, managing Tierney, and then obviously we then see Scales pushing in that left back, Justin in coming in. It's nice that we have got a lot of rotation just now between centre backs, but I think this weekend probably would be the weekend for it.
Any other names that I've not mentioned?
I think Ralston will start.
Think so?
I think so. I think just because the amount of fixtures coming up and obviously the Champions League, I think Alistair Johnson, he could be 50-50 sometimes when it comes to injuries and niggles and stuff. So I think I would be surprised if he wasn't starting, to be honest, but I think he'll be in.
No, I agree. I could see that. I could see Ralston starting. Don't throw for anybody else off the top of my head.
I'm just trying to think.
Your man McCowan might get a start.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be for it. I said I've tipped him for that surprise package of the season, but I think he's just, again, this is the games we can get away with that rotation. It does give you a nice attacking option as well. And then as the man we touched on with Bernardo, if he has to be that more kind of sitting role, let us look, drive forward and kind of have that creative spark. It's nice being able to talk about all these areas, midfield, defence, Ralston, this, that, and then we know that the front three just has to stay the same. There's nothing we can do in the front three, bar maybe bring Kenny in if we want to, so we'll see how that goes. Any final thoughts on that game at all before I take us into?
We'll see a bit more Yamada possibly.
I think so. A bit
more minutes hopefully.
It's good to see him actually get on the park against Aberdeen. But I think we'll see a bit of him. That's another one who touched on me. Hitachi's goal at the weekend. Mate, he couldn't have placed it better with his hands. Like, it's unbelievable. But again, but it's the fact that folks saying, no. I can see away for it, see if he sees away any strong goals like he's being fucking Mars. I don't want to shoot back. Right, score predictions before we go then. I'll start with you, Calum.
3-1.
3-1.
3-0.
3-0. I'm going to go for 4-1 Celtic. A lot of goals.
You'd have to.
Well, you never know. Get a lot of goals, Celtic. Do it for us. Right, Twitter questions I'm going to run through for the next 5 or so minutes. We've got quite a few again today. You've smashed it so far this season with the amount of questions, so thank you all so much. We'll start with Decky, who says, evening troops, in honour of drawing Kairat, let's hear your best Borat impression. I feel like that'll get us cancelled.
I feel like that need be an audio only. Cut the cameras.
The only thing I feel like I can say for Borat that wouldn't get me in trouble would be like, my wife. That's it.
Yeah, action, mate. Like the wee quips.
Aye. I'm not going into any of the full-blown quotes or not.
There's quite a few of it. Would not get away with this.
No. Not in this current climate anyway. No chance. No chance. Aaron asks, when are Celtic hiring a director of football, or at least acting like a club that knows what it's doing in any form? God, director of football.
What is that?
What? That club of Cole Palmer's like, what? Every time a director of football gets brought up, that's just Peter Lawwell in the meeting. I, at this stage, I've just given up thinking about one, to be quite honest.
Aye, it's something we should have had in the building a long time ago, and again we just still continue to stand idly by.
We get away with it because we're in Scotland, because we've not had competition for so long, but you would never see a club with competition act like this, because when a manager leaves, you don't want to be ripping up every aspect of the club and starting again. At least if you've got a director of football there, you've got some form of continuity plan, you've got some consistency. We don't have that. If Rodgers goes at the end of the season, it's back to square one, and like, we might get away with it one more time. But as soon as Rangers get some fucking competence around them with these new owners, we won't get away with that. No. And they've got a director of football. Like, where's ours? It's nuts. Why we just
Patrick Stewart?
I think so. He's either him or
Shine Star Trek.
Unless is he the CEO? I don't know. I think he might be the CEO.
Is it?
But the director of football was the Belgian or Dutch guy or something, and they sacked him.
Kilsman, something. That kind of hefty guy.
Kind of looked like a cheap version of Ange.
Speaking of that video, we spoke about it in Discord. Oh, mate, I actually love him.
I missed that smile by now.
Exactly.
That smile.
Sure.
Damn smile. Director of football coming in 2037. That's
ambitious.
Yeah, it's ambitious. Right, Nathan is asking, if Quizmaster Nathan says, rank in order of likelihood. Lawwell to spend 60 million in the remainder of this summer. Ida to have a good first touch. Yang to string 5 plus good games together. Or one of the boys to not answer, walking away when asked how they are. Kieran, how you doing? Walking away. Walking away. That's everybody. See, when you get to your age, you'll realise you're walking away. Out of the three though there, what would you say is the most likely? Either to have a good first touch, Yank to have 5 plus good games, or Lawwell to spend 60 million quid?
Walking away. I think out of the 3 is probably Yang. Somebody put it perfectly in Twitter. He does first touch, he's chasing it like it owes him a tenner. And I've carried it I'm like, that is it. That is perfect.
That's a crack.
Mate, I
can't talk about. I agree. I think maybe the Yang 5 games. Felix, I think. Do you remember? I think was it the red card at Hearts? I think before that he was actually on a wee run. I think that was the last time I ever remember him having a bit of a run. So,
and he was sent off unfairly.
Unfairly as well. That ruined his.
Ruined his career.
That ruined his push.
That was like fucking somebody getting injured right before they're about to win the title. Push cancelled. Adelaide, as always, is here saying, plans for Friday, much bevy, as I said, blotto. And he said, glad that Calum got tickets for Oasis. He's asked for our favourite Oasis song.
So I did see this, and out the effort to say it, Adam, I've got a favourite song for each album for them.
Oh, each album?
Just because I was sitting my break and I seen it, and I thought, I'll go and do that.
Right.
Hear who else today.
Go.
Definitely maybe is Do You Want to Be a Spaceman?
Right.
What's the story, Mon Glory's either Hello or Tuck Tonight. Be Here Now is Don't Go Away, or I Hope I Think I Know. Standing on the Shoulders of Giants is Go Let It Out.
Mm-hmm.
Having Chemistry is The Hindu Times. Cracker.
Nice.
Don't Believe the Truth was Liar. Couldn't get anything all that. I would have put that away. And Dig At Your Soul was Rapture or I'm Out of Time.
There's a man that knows his stuff.
That's your tunes.
Well, that's an Oasis man right there. All these fake ones, kidding on, they like them at the concerts. Certainly wouldn't have been me.
To be old woman, fucking first sleep.
What?
Fucking stood there like sat there.
You're going to say gone for it or something before I sleep. Bloody hell.
Is that your karaoke as well?
No. The only time I've done karaoke is when you're on Santa Claus and I've done
Cracked it.
Life with You.
Aye.
Nice.
The Hindu Times were questioning the chase last night, actually. I remember that. It was one of the ones, it's like, which Oasis song doesn't actually mention these words?
Aye.
Again, the Hindu Times was the answer. My favourite's always been, and it's one of the more kind of vanilla ones, but I love Cigarettes and Alcohol. It's just a classic. Probably my favourite. You got one, Dylan?
I'm not even just saying it because it's Celtic, but I'll always loved roll weight. So see, like the 3-0 was always probably my most perfect game ever.
Aye.
And then when roll weight came on and everybody's in the stadium, and I don't think there was one sober person in that stadium that night. Roll weight came on, just life peaked.
What a moment.
Honestly.
It's the three for me is either Hello, Cigarettes and Alcohol, or like I don't even call it by its real name because I love that tweet. And it's something I think somebody's asking Liam, like, what's your favourite song to play on the guitar or something? He's like Aki's or however the fuck you spell it. That's one of the three for me. Alistair Jack says, "Hey lads, watched Kairat last night go through. If we don't win, it would be our worst ever 2-leg defeat in the club's history." I think it's hard to disagree with that. I think it could be. Like, what would top that?
I think the only bigger scale was the Redents, wasn't it? But obviously we got the job done. I think so.
I could think would have been Maribor.
Aye.
That again, it was more because we fucked it the home leg in it.
Aye.
That would be no. So I'm just trying to say that.
I know. I think he might be right there, Alistair. To be quite honest, as I said, it'd be completely embarrassing.
Hopefully we don't think
Fingers crossed. No.
He also said pet hate is the no easy game in Europe. Yes, they're ranked below Hearts. Love the show. Hail, hail. There's no excuses if we don't go through. Nah, I think he's spot on.
Can't argue that at all.
I think he's spot on, mate.
Just as a touch now, Kyogo's just his first goal for Birmingham.
Is he?
Get on him. See the goalie get chopped off?
Oh, I know.
Nothing.
No,
See if it's the other way about. It's the defender and the attacker.
Ridiculous.
I was gutted.
even the goal when it was, he was unlucky.
Hit the post. Mate, can't believe he's away.
Man.
We'll start greeting. Hello, fine gentlemen, says Mr. Halla. Who would win a 5-a-side game between a team of Bain, Comper, Malumbu, Shved and Carlton Cole against Barkas, Laxalt, Kuasi, Abui, Ayeti and Bio? You taking team 1 or 2?
I'm team 1, man.
Team
Team
1.
Shved. You just see Calum Cole get up your scruffy 5s goal, just and then Barkas is in goals, so it's possible.
I don't know. Because team 1, I feel it's just built of defenders. Just the answer like we Shved, as you said, Carlton Cole just get a go off his ass or something. Team 2 I'll take only because Bio.
That is 2 teams. That is some of the all-time teams right there. I'm going to go for... Do you know what? Because of my love for Barkas, I'll go team 2. Also, what colour would you consider a cheeseburger to be? Because me and my pal were trying to figure that out.
What? I seen that and I was so confused. I'm like,
colour would you consider it? I don't know, brown?
What is it, like the burger, the bun?
I
was so
What
confused.
part of the burger do you mean? Like, just the actual burger itself?
I know, I'd say brown.
Brown.
Aye, brown.
Crispy
If I always put it this way, if I was drawing one, what colour would I colour it? And I'd colour it brown. So.
Oh, alright. Maybe orange.
Orange?
That's me a cartoony, but
Aye.
I don't know.
I think a chicken burger to be honest.
Aye. Maybe. That is maybe the daftest question we've ever been asked, and we have been asked some daft
We need to
questions.
see what their answers were.
There's none.
Everybody know debate.
They've no tell us.
They've not done it. Get them in for next week.
We need to know what colour.
What colour would you use at home?
Aidan, with us only being allowed to name 17 foreign players in the European squad, if we bring in any new signings over the group stage, do you think any players are expected to miss out, e.g. Bernardo? I think it's just too early to tell because you don't know how many's coming in, how many's going out. I think that's a question we could maybe answer on the Derby preview.
I think there's like a second squad anyway, just in case you...
something like that.
I think there's something
like
like that. You get an extra deadline or something in it. If you...
Aye. I just go off FM.
Oh, did you see the new release?
Oh, finally.
Finally.
You could have heard me scream for fucking London probably. Any of us doing Kairat away? Well, you obviously used to weren't able to, I don't think, but me and Kieran were pricing it and we're looking at it and we're seriously considering it, but it just got a wee bit too extreme. Like,
it was a route that I think it was Kieran Mark sent. Leaving Edinburgh at 10:30 the Sunday morning and not getting there until Monday morning at 8 o'clock. It's
nuts.
just
Bonkers,
baffling to me.
Bonkers stuff.
Absolutely baffling.
I really wanted to do it because it looks like a beautiful place. Like
That's
people
people
have this impression of Kazakhstan being like some Soviet forgotten fucking shithole, but Almaty looks. It looks like it should be in Canada.
It looks really nice.
It's beautiful, and I really wanted to go, but like I said to them, it's like it'd be different if you're spending all that money to be there for like a certain amount of time. But if you're going for the fucking game and coming back, like, I imagine you got beat. Regretting every fucking moment of it, man.
I would be interested to see how many fans we bring.
I think somebody said that when we played Astana, there was like 80 that made the journey. I think there'll be more than that this time.
I think somebody said roughly there, like it was like roughly just like 250 to 300. I said, for that amount, that's actually very good fucking going.
I've got to save up more money for the next time it happens. William Wallace asking, how we doing, gentlemen? Where are you sat 1 to 10 on the transfers this season? And do you genuinely think we'll get the required personnel in between now and the end of the window? So if I was to ask very quickly between 1 and 10 where you're right now, I think we all said 5 last week.
I think it's probably been done now, isn't it? 'Cause it's been weeks.
Aye. So would you say you're at a 4?
4.
My cash out's and done 4.
I'd probably say I'm maybe still at like 4.6 or 7, you know, like just coming down very, very slowly. But do you think, just quickly, yes or no, do you think we'll get the people in we need?
I'll stupidly say yes.
Hopefully at least the bare minimum, innit? Like just...
It's the hope. It's the hope that kills you. We'll soon see. Milo asking, hello Slimes, sending in my question from last week. Who has been your favourite nearly signing? Someone linked, agreed personal terms or whatever, but just didn't join Celtic in the end, but really wish that they did. Also, Ryan, get back on the wrestling podcast now. Much love. It will come back, don't you worry. Mine's, it's boring, but mine is John McGinn. I'm gutted we never got John McGinn. I was fucking flying that flag for fucking months and we let him go.
That was mine as well.
Aye.
John McGinn. Just like it's that way because it was at Malumbu, wasn't it? Was the replacement. You're like, I think my first away defeat was him scoring. I was like, oh, that's alright, we've brought him in, and then could have been McGinn, but aye.
I think it has to be McGinn, really, done it. Like most when you look at it of recent times, more than not to say that he would have still been at the club, but again, we said like he was just Scott Brown replacement. He's there, obviously. Again, worked out brilliant with Calum, but just to have somebody of his calibre, because he was far too good for Scottish football when he was here.
Aye.
He's
just a standout for me because there's been so many players early years that have like, oh, he's been linked, oh, this is a pattern, it just doesn't happen. And like, you lose track of them all. Airtime.
It's the fact the fee they're probably got him for as well.
Like £3.5 million or something.
Jesus.
The Hague.
The biggest what if in Celtic.
Get him sent to the fucking Hague. Honestly, Christ, man. Jesus God Almighty. I suppose a lot of people might say if he's scarred, depending how that goes for.
True. I seen he came on the other night. Don't know how well I actually did. I said that. Sorry.
Right, final question before we go to the full-time quiz. It's a boring question, says Sideshow Bob. Love to see you, Sideshow Bob, thank you. As I know you've already covered it several times since you have came back, but we've kind of answered how concerned are we as the board waiting for us to qualify. We've kind of touched on all of it, but if I was to put money on it, or if you want to put money on it, I should say, do you think Celtic will be any closer to an attacking signing by next Thursday?
Again, same as the last one, I'll stupidly say yes.
I hope at least one. Just give me something.
It's the hope that kills you. Thank you for your questions this week, ladies and gents. It is appreciated. We'll be doing more of that on the Thunder Club. But it's now time for the full-time quiz. Calum, you're hosting. Take it away.
It's fine. So, Dylan, since you are obviously hosting a half-time, I'll let you choose if you like set A or set B.
A.
Set A. Dylan, starting us off. First question. When was the last time Celtic failed to reach the League Cup quarter-finals?
Oh, that's a good question. Quarter-finals? Oh.
Obviously just because of like, the stage where we... I don't know why.
I remember there was one big upset when I was growing up, and I can't remember if it was the League Cup or the Scottish Cup.
The only clue I'll give you is, and you gave it to us last week, don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it.
I think... that's a big help. Was it the COVID season? Ross County? No?
It was not.
No?
23-24, Kilmarnock.
Rogers returned, remember?
Rogers
Kelly
first
put
season
his
back.
foot.
Oh my god!
Because when you said when I was younger, no, don't go that far back.
I totally forgot about that.
Happens
I
to the
just wiped
bestest.
it from my memory.
Happens to the
That's a
bestest.
flashback.
So,
fair play.
Ryan, do you can get
Yes.
a point on the board? Question 1 from set B.
Don't need a win.
Falkirk ran as close in the League Cup last season. Before which 2 players scored a double to seal a 5-2 win?
Well, obviously, Adamida. We've already touched on that. Honest, I'm not even going to pretend here, lads. I can't remember, but I think it might be Nicholas Kuhn.
Correct.
Yes.
It was Nicholas
Nice,
Kuhn.
nice.
He scored 2 right at the end of the game as well.
Thought so.
So Ryan takes a 1-0 lead going into round 2. Dylan, which player is set to make their 100th Celtic appearance on Friday? So this is per minute.
Oh.
I wouldn't have got this.
100th overall appearance.
Yep, that's it. So you said 100 Celtic appearance, so it'll be overall.
It's hardly going to be League Cup appearance.
I've not even heard anything about that.
No, neither far.
Neither. That's. I think this is one you would need to have went and looked
Aye.
for their
aye.
stats.
Stop it, B.
I think I've got a guess, but obviously it's not my question.
Just trying to look. I think maybe he's already played the 100. I don't know, just for time, Vickers.
I was going to say Hitati.
It's his left-hand side partner, Liam
Scales. I was stuck between Hitati and Scales because I remember Hitati got injured
Scales.
for a bit, and I was like, right, might be
He's
him.
held him back a bit.
Aye.
So Ryan, to see if you can take a 2-0 lead here.
No.
How many former Celts are in the Falkirk squad?
Scott Bain, Calvin Miller, there too. And I'm not going to piss about here. I could not tell you much more of the squad beyond them. So I'll just play it safe and predict that there's maybe 1 or 2 more, and I'll go with 4.
It's 3.
Bastard! Bastard! I was
Since you
gonna
said 1 or 2, that's like, don't look at him.
Does it say who it is?
It's Aidan Nisbet.
Oh, of course.
Oh.
Aye.
Jeez.
Bastards, let me free.
So Dan, a chance to get yourself back in here at 1 each. Another former Celt looks to set to join them, currently training with Falkirk. Who is it?
Oh, here, I swear I seen this the other day.
Oh, I know who that is.
I seen it the other day.
Aye.
Oh my God.
Aye.
No, who is it? I seen it the other day. Oh, it's so annoying.
We all know. We all know.
I don't know. Oh, who was it? Oh, it's so annoying.
Sorry.
Oh man, that's so annoying. That's actual. Fuck.
Gonna have to push you for an answer now, Dylan.
Don't push me for an answer.
Gonna have to push you for an answer.
Oh man, that's so annoying.
I'm
I
just
seen
trying to
it.
put the pressure.
I don't know. Oh, I need to pass. I can't remember. I seen it or not.
It was one of the saviours
The
during the
greats.
COVID period. Is Malia
Sorrow!
Sorrow.
Oh! Damn it! Oh, I seen it as well.
So Ryan, to see if we can then take a 2-0 lead in round 3. Who did we play and what was the score in the League Cup the last 16 last season?
Was it Rafe Rovers? Rafe Rovers in a score at fucking 3-0.
Score was 3-1
I just got to say 3-1.
and it was Hibernian.
I was going to say 3-1. I
thought I'd build a wee bit of hope.
See me fair, we have played Rafe a lot, haven't we?
I can remember.
Fine, so get into round 4. Dylan, still bring us still
Keeping
back
the door
in
open for you,
here.
Dylan.
1 each
Come
here.
on.
In what year did Celtic last lose the final in this competition?
League Cup final.
Good word.
Because I think the last times we've been knocked out, it's obviously not been a final.
Aye.
So he won at Rogers first season.
I think I've got my answer.
Good report.
Once again, Disney Marks, it's not my fucking question. I wish I had City.
I feel like I've missed somebody, but was it Kelly?
I thought it was Rangers 2000.
I think was that not before? Was that
Nine?
before?
I shouldn't see.
It was Kilmarnock.
Ah.
It was
No,
indeed.
I was like, see the 2-1 Rangers.
Aye.
I couldn't remember if that was before or after. I was like,
Aye, fair play.
Got
I'm
it
glad
there.
I did take
It's got to sell back
City.
in. It's got to sell back in it then at 1 each. Ryan.
Yes.
Oh no, wait. The question was, in which year? So you've got the team, which she's put in with it, but the question was, in which year?
Sweaty Val. No.
I just had to double read there.
20. I think Rangers was 11, so 12. 12, 13. Was it 12? I don't know.
What are you going with?
12.
2011-12.
So that's right then, aye. Well done.
That's
Get out,
correct.
buddy.
So you've got it there.
Aye, 'cause that's when the League Cup finals
do
were
that
still
to me, Calum.
played after, they were played after Christmas back then, weren't they? So,
Ryan, your fourth
I think
question
that's
is,
right
see if you can take
Right.
2-1 lead here.
right.
Celtic jet off to Kazakhstan again. The last time being a second leg after beating Astana 5-0. What was the second leg score?
4-3.
Was indeed 2-1 that lead there. So coming into the final round here, Dylan, you need this to take yourself through. Your final question: how many of the current squad have over 50 goals for the club?
Oh.
So I don't need the players, I just need how many.
Aye.
Oh.
Yeah, 50 goals, so. Oh.
Can it be many? Shouldn't be helping you here, actually.
Don't need your help, Ryan.
Don't need your help.
Obviously, because he does striker, he's not been scoring goals. Has McGregor scored it, I think? Has McGregor scored it 50? That's a good question. I can't really think, so I'm just going to say, that Forest. 2.
It's 3.
3. Oh,
Who is it then?
Forest
Forrest, McGregor.
McGregor.
and Dyson.
Oh, has he hit? Aye, so he is.
Oh,
aye.
fuck.
Last season.
Is
Was it
of
up
course he's hit- aye, of course he's hit
Spelling.
50.
Bastard.
So Ryan,
Right,
I have
done,
to
Ryan.
go in there.
I needed
However,
that, I
in
needed
classic
that.
fashion, we'll always get
Yes.
the last question. In which season did Celtic last play a Champions League playoff tie?
2000 and... That is a good question. Champions League playoff. Oh,
Which season did Celtic
well,
last
that is
play
good because
Champions League
it's
playoff?
either going to have to be like, do you know what? I've won 1920.
17-18,
Is that it?
and it was Astana.
Is that standing,
Hell,
right?
aye, that's-
And again, just to round it off in the tiebreaker, we
Aye.
always do. How many miles is Almaty Central Stadium from Celtic Park?
4,500.
3,000.
7,492.
No, that can't be right. That must be the round trip. It can't be that. That's a round trip, that.
Well, I'm just going
He's fucked that because
I
when
can
I done
only
my
do
video today, they said it was a 7,000 mile round trip. So he's fucked that or something. I don't know. Maybe it's right. Who cares? We're both
There
right.
we go. Ryan, you've won it.
Thank you.
There you go. Points
Appreciate
level.
it. Thank you. And that
Right.
brings us.
Is that your first one, Ryan?
That's my first one of the
So-
season.
Ooh.
Three
Oh,
points
you're
for
drawing?
me, you and Kieran, and Calum's the only man. He's obviously got a game in hand though.
Oh,
everybody,
aye,
so.
aye.
Well, there you go. Thank you everybody for tuning in this week. We've got a Thunder Club to get going with quickly so Calum can get up the road and get his dinner. But thank you for listening. Kieran, Dylan, Calum. Thank you. He's here somewhere. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next week. Ta-da.